Howdy all, this is Texas Gaming Industries here, and welcome to episode 26, part 15 of my Let's Play Transport Viewer 2. In the previous episode, I felt like we were doomed, as even though we got our plane into Australia, we now have to basically take care of transporting mail from London all the way to Australia. But unfortunately though, our planes cannot fly because they are affected with the same thing that our plane has. If there's no fuel, tools, or food at the airfields, they will not take off. So, we'll have to basically restart some services within the areas with these airports. But it won't be too difficult though. Considering that we already have built some lines already, it shouldn't be too difficult to restart them. Basically, we'll just focus on supplying the airfields in both London and Port Darwin instead, and not focus on every other. We'll also have one. So basically, our plan is simple. We'll fill up a train of supplies. We'll do the same thing as we did when we tried to get our plane out of Europe. But this time around, let's see. Yeah, this time around, we're only focusing on supplying one particular industry each and every here in England for now. We already got food already down in England, but then we need to make some more tools. Okay, logs delivered here. Pick up the logs, then pick up the steel. Then pick up 50% of steel and take them down to this tool works. Pick up a load of tools, bring them down to the harbor. And of course, we need to set up another service across the ocean. And a new one from here to here. As well as from here to here. Alright. First of all, this will be filled up with tools and drop them off. Line 10 will pick up loads of fuel and deliver them down to the dockside here in London. Line 9 will fill up a full load of oil and then drop it off there. Alright, so we got our line set up to carry our commodities. Oh, I've forgotten. We'll need to make steel, so we'll have to reconnect this steel mill here as well. Leon Branch, Vienna sidings. "10 minutes, unload." That should basically do it. As since we're only supplying these particular airports in both London and in Port Darwin, we won't need to worry about basically supplying every other, well, you know. So, that in mind, let's see, how close is the air? We'll have to move the airfield a little bit closer. Let's just move the port closer to the airfield here in Port Darwin. Alright, that done. We can now then restart our operations again. So, pick up oil, deliver to Singapore. Pick up the oil, drop it off near Port Darwin docks. we're going to use a trucking service to deliver the fuel to the airfield instead. And deliver it here. Full load of logs. Go here to here. Full load. Full load again. This time of tools. And then drop them off here. That also reminds us we'll also need to get food supplied as well. Alright, that should basically do it for our services, both in... Now we gotta get started. Not to mention we'll also need to get a service set up to deliver the mail from England to the airfield. Then the planes can then take it on from there. Alright. Oh, of course, I forgot to do this. And this. You'll be picking up tools. And you'll be picking up fuel. And of course, line 25, it will pick up the mail and just drop it off at the airfield.
And your northwest departure is approved to Angier.
Now with that done, let's get our vehicles. Alright, let's just basically build up the profits, build up our company's bank loan again. Let's just get it to up to about 900 million credits. That should be enough to basically get everything started. Alright, add a brake fan, and let's put it on line 1. I'll get another mogul, pick up the 210 from the ship. I've got to take out another loan. My gosh, this is going to be so expensive. But it will be worth it in the end if we can at least get our planes flying again to their destinations. Alright. Now let's see. Line 3 will pick up the... Oh, let's see. Okay. Line 3 will pick up the oil. Line 4 will pick up the oil and take it to Vienna. The line 5 will pick up the fuel and drop it off at the airfield. And drop it off at the port. Let's see. Let's get another mogul in charge of this operation. Let's try to get it up to 975 instead. Alright. Let's add some flat wagons to pick up the loads of logs from the logging camp and deliver them to the sawmill in Lyon. All trains going forward will have 210 unit wagons. Alright. I gotta get some ships, though. Of course, I'll need about 2 of these to pick up the oil and pick up the fuel. And I'll need 1 of these to take the tools over the water into England. And great, we're back into the billions again. But hopefully these profits that we'll be making will basically offset it by some miracle. Okay, let's see. Pick up the tools, bring them to the dock side. Let's actually put 140 on there instead. Then I'll have to get the 2 coal trains set up as well. Well, actually the 2 mineral trains. I think 1 point... Oh, right. You pick up coal, you pick up iron ore, you pick up coal. That should basically do it for now. Now to set up some trucks in England to basically deliver the supplies. Ten to pick up loads of food. Well, 10 trucks to pick up and 10 to pick up livestock. Another 10 to deliver food. Then I'll need about 10 more to pick up loads of fuel from the docks, and another 10 to pick up a load of tools. And finally, we'll be using the post bus, which can carry a whopping 14 units of freight. Plus, since it is carrying the mail, let's actually see if we can recolor them. Anyways, now with that out of the way, let's head back down to the Asia region and get some supplies ready for their operations too. We'll get 10 Mack trucks and deliver the loads of logs to the lumber mill. And with that done, we're now ready to start working on our ships. Since we already got these lines set up in England, we'll need about we'll need about 6 of these British coaster ships. You deliver the oil. You deliver the refined oil. You pick up lumber. You pick up tools. I meant to say you pick up tools. You pick up rice. And you pick up food. Oh, I actually almost forgot. I'll need to set up a trucking operation here in Australia as well. Okay. Alright, with that done, let's expand this bit out. Alright, pick up fuel, deliver them to Mill Road. Put them on line 26. And it's time to start it up again. Now, we only need to do is just deliver about 15 units of mail, London towards Australia mail. So we can actually clone this plane 3 times, but we can't basically take off until there's enough supplies here at the airfield. Sure, there's some fuel and some tools, and a whole bunch of food, but we don't have enough to get going. And plus, there's already some mail waiting at this bus stop, which is great. Because now, with that all set and done, we'll finally be able to get our equipment rolling again, and we'll start to make money. All we just have to do is just now wait. Let's see. Yep, all the lines ending into here are perfectly fine. Yeah, airplane can't depart because it doesn't have supplies. But either way, though, once these planes are full to the brim with mail, though, then they should basically be ready to take off and head towards Australia. That's the main case, I'm hoping. Alright. Train 2 will wait to pick up oil from the ships. These ships can carry about 260 units of, well, oil. Well, actually, because of this, I'll actually make the ships just not wait entirely for their loads. Same for this one. It will just pick up whatever load comes into the dump. We'll just pick up whatever load arrives. I'll set it for 3 minutes on this one. And this trip will wait for 3 minutes as well. Alright. Oil is being drilled. Iron and coal is being mined out of the mines. Logs are being cut up to be processed into lumber. This train will carry 50 units of, well, will carry half a load of lumber and another half load of steel to be processed into tools. All the while, our ships here in the Asia region are now on their way to their respective destinations to pick up their commodities. Trucks are waiting also at Port Darwin to pick up fuel, and once it's picked up, The trucks will then take the loads over to the Mill Road depot and drop off the cargo needed here at the airport supply building. Hopefully it won't take too long, though I don't think we'll be able to restart any of our services in this particular region, otherwise we would be drowning in debt. So we're only going to be focusing entirely on getting our planes to fly again. This truck will have enough mail on board to be taken home to London, taken away. Shipment is not that great, but however, it should change once more loads of mail are being picked up. On the plus side, once this truck drops it off at the airfield, this plane will just simply pick it up and put it into its cargo hold. So it won't have to basically wait forever for that to happen. The train is waiting for arrival of processed wet oil into fuel. This train is heading up the line to basically pick up some steel, which is not existent right now. My bare Garrett type engines are on their way back to the mines. I actually forgot to set that top one in Leon Yard to 10 minutes. Alright. Let's see what happens. Let's actually see what happens when the truck arrives at its destination, the mail. And I'm kind of happy that they did actually get themselves recolored, because to be honest, this is Royal Mail. We want to make sure that there's plenty of mail available. Well, we want to make sure the trucks are well represented for Royal Mail in England. Plus, since the airport is so close to residential districts in Australia, we won't need to worry about setting up another service down in the land down under. Alright, mail's unloaded and the plane has picked it up. Perfect. But until the airplane is ready to take off, until there's enough supplies here at the airfield, we cannot take off. Hopefully we won't have to go through that whole same ordeal as we did with the airplane requiring multiple stops before arriving at its final destination. No oil yet, no logs yet. 117 units of logs. This train has over 183 units of oil. That should be enough to be processed for now. All the way over in the Asia region, our ships are still waiting for their commodities to be loaded up. At least the ship is waiting patiently for its lumber. This ship is heading towards the rice plantation. This one is heading up to pick up food. This one is heading for Madagascar's oil field, which will then bring it into Singapore, where it will be processed into refined oil and then taken down to Port Darwin and processed into fuel for the airfield there. Speaking of which, our company HQ is at level 1 again. We're at company level 9, but that's basically because we actually had mired in debt. And thankfully, one of our other trucks has just finished being loaded up with mail as well. So with that in mind, we can at least deliver some more mail to be dropped off and be picked up by the other planes. Now, since we only need about 15 units of mail down in Australia, we only just need about 1 each. Speaking of which, I'll just leave it as it is. Alright, the trucks are making their way up the road deep from this London exchange because they haven't had any commodities brought in just yet. Actually, it's also going to be the same thing here. Full load if available. Thankfully, over 183 units of oil have just arrived. There's more being processed in the oil field here near London. It'll be processed into, it will be picked up. We're still in our billions though, sadly. But however, we can at least get the supplies in either way. Now, I actually realized something. When I was doing times 8 speed, when there were no more vehicles left on the map, well, except for my one airplane, I realized that it's not because of the amount of vehicles on the map, it's basically on how large the map is, as well as all the assets that you have, which include the stations, buildings, track for trains, and stuff like that. It gets so much that my computer has a tendency to cause frame rate issues with my vehicles. So, that's basically how I figured out what is going on. So I just have to be very mindful on how many vehicles are on the map at a given time. Because too much vehicles will be basically... Wait, why is it heading towards London East? It needs to drop off its load here at the harbor at London in Annex. There we go. Ugh. Let's see. Well, at least this train has left the logging camp with a load of logs. 165 units. That should be enough for 440 units for one half of the train. And why is it leaving so soon, even though I have set it at 10? Oh, it's supposed to be the train dropping off the oil. That's what I thought. All the while, at least our iron ore trains, my iron ore train and my coal train, I believe? Yeah, both my iron ore and coal trains have basically begun making their first profits. Not much, but it's at least a good start for now. You just need to basically earn a little more money on these deliveries, and also get the steel processed. As Transport now is able to deliver steel to the factory in Rome. And by some coincidence, there is actually some iron ore left over from our previous, well, when we did operations here in Europe. The only thing that disappeared was just coal. I think that should be enough steel just to start things off at the factory. We don't need a whole bunch of tools, but we do need a good amount of fuel, as our fuel supply is as our food supply is still good. We just need more fuel and more tools. This train will wait patiently for this one to pull in. We'll pull in to collect the oil, and then take it to Lyon to be processed into refined oil. Our first loads of logs have arrived, and we earned over 3.25 million credits for that delivery. That should be a good amount of money to take out our chunks. And I believe that is a good ending point for today's episode, as we're now finally starting to get operations back up, well, get operations back online here in Europe. With mail now basically being brought to the airfield, and all of our ships in basically Asia now in full swing, I think we have accomplished a pretty good episode for the series. So, if you enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play Transport Fever 2, Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my on-site schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!